just think it's rude not to say anything.
Well, it's up to you. Do what you want. Just count me out.
Fine. I'll only be a moment. Hello, Nola.
Derek. Oh, you want to sit down?
Oh, yeah, thanks.
Come on.
I just want to say I'm sorry about what happened today.
Boy, news travels fast.
Tim told me.
Oh. I bet Hillary and Trudy couldn't wait to hear all the details.
No, it wasn't like that at all.
Well, you know, Derek, she hides it from you, but she hates my class.
I think you're exaggerating a little bit, Nola, but Hillary's entitled to her opinion, just like I'm entitled to mine.
Well, I guess that's a good attitude to have. Were you at Kelly and Morgan's wedding?
Yeah.
Yeah, I bet they couldn't wait to put me down.
Nola, Kelly and Morgan were much too happy to be concerned with anybody else, so I'm here completely unbiased.
Well, I'm not surprised. Us kids from 7th Street, we stick together, right?
Yeah, right.
Yeah. You know, Derek, I really admired you the way that you pulled yourself out of the neighborhood and, really made something of your life.
Nola, you're from the same neighborhood. You're doing fine.
Oh, I'll never be as successful as you.
Oh, now listen, success isn't measured by the kind of job you have or how much money you make. And it's really, I don't know, setting your sights on something that really makes you happy and then going after it until you achieve it.
Well, that's... So listen, Derek, if I need some advice, along the way, would you help me out?
I'd be happy to try.
Yeah?
If there's anything you don't understand, I'd be happy to explain.
I understand the figures perfectly. I just don't like the idea of hamstringing Spaulding Enterprises to come up with the capital.
Well, we wouldn't have to hamstring the company if we hadn't bought Jocelyn Electronics for double what it was worth.
Diane, I'm well aware of your feelings on that subject, but if we just keep tight reins on the cash flow for about 6 months, we'll be fine. Now, can I use the telephone? I want to call Bert and see if Hope was feeling all right when she got home from the wedding.
Well, don't you think if something was wrong, Bert would have tracked you down by now?
Well, it might not occur to her to call me here. In fact, she may not even have this number. I should give it to her, and I should also call my club and leave it there in case anyone else tries to reach me.
Well, why would anyone be trying to reach you at this hour?
Diane, my wife is very close to delivering her baby, remember?
Well, yes, of course I remember. And I know how much you hate to upset Hope. Do you really think that it's wise to let her know that you're here with me?
Look, if she doesn't realize that our relationship is purely professional, then she never will. So may I?
Of course.
Thank you. Bird, good evening. It's Alan. I hope I'm not calling too late.
Don't let those remarks hurt. Just remember, he came here tonight when he needed to talk and be with someone. So don't push. Let it happen naturally. And it will.
I'm at Diane. She's briefing me on some business matters, and I should be here for a while longer. Do you have the number, or shall I give it to you just in case? Well, of course I worry about her, Bert. Constantly. She's my wife. She's about to give birth to our first child.
Where have you gone off to this time? Sorry to bring you back so abruptly, but I've been trying to decide whether you're working on an intricate pattern for a new design, meditating atop a mountain in Tibet, or simply pondering the fate of the world in the next 100 years or so.
Nothing so complex as any of those.
Oh, I find that rather hard to believe.
To tell you the truth, I was wondering why we can't capture moments like this where we feel perfectly happy and content. Preserve them under a glass bell jar, or maybe press them between the pages of a book, and then we can bring them out at times when we feel less content.
It's a very nice idea. Why don't you give it a try?
Because I'd be afraid it would lose something in the translation. Then I'd be disappointed. I remember a time when my grandmother tried to teach me to wax a beautiful oak leaf on a fine autumn day. We took wax paper and a warm iron, and then we put that leaf ever so carefully in the pages of a big old dictionary. Come the end of winter, when we hadn't seen a leaf for months, I went to the dictionary and I thumbed through the pages and I found the leaf. And I cried and cried.
Why?
because only the shape remained the same. All the were gone. They were faded. I never tried to wax a leaf again.
Well, I find it hard to imagine you giving up in defeat like that.
Well, I did. At the age of 12, I decided that natural things were too beautiful to try to preserve, and that the real trick to life was to experience things so fully in the moment that they get burned into your memory, because that's the only place you can really preserve something that's special and natural.
Well, it seems to me memories can fade, too. Or on the other hand, become exaggerated, enhanced.
Not if they're important to you, Ross. I have several logged right up here. And I take them out when I get depressed, and I experience them for inspiration, and then I tuck them away ever so fast for safekeeping.
Well, that's another thing I can't imagine you ever being depressed.
I don't think you really know me well enough to make sweeping statements like that, Ross. What?
This is the first time I've ever been uncomfortable in a situation. What's wrong?
Nothing's really wrong. It's just all this talk about memories and trying to preserve things. It's really pointless.
Carrie, I admire many things about you, but none more than the way that you attack life as if it were something that could get away from you.
Ken, Ross, I've seen it happen. And it's the only gift that we're ever really given. Life is so precious, we have to be grateful for it every day.
I'm never more grateful for it than the times I'm with you. You know, you have taught me to believe in a great many things that I had given up on long ago without even knowing it. And I would like to thank you for that.
Ross, don't. Please don't.
It would be such a great waste of this moment in time if I...
I have asked you to stay over on the couch so many times, I hope you realize it is a standing invitation.
Oh, thank you, but I really should get back to the club.
Fine.
Night, Diane.
Good night. I'll call you tomorrow morning before I go into the office.
Fine. Diane?
Did you forget something?
No, Well, I was thinking that perhaps I would stay over on your sofa.
Well, good. Good. That way we can go over tomorrow's agenda over breakfast instead of over the telephone.
Well, I welcome that. It'd be nice to see someone I know in the morning. If I thought of the consequences and hadn't behaved so stupidly and selfish. I'm sorry. You were nice enough to ask me to stay, and I shouldn't subject you to listening to me talk to myself.
Whatever makes you feel comfortable. You know where the shower is if you want to use it.
Thank you. I think I will.
It's already working. Don't push. Let him come to you this time.
What are you thinking about?
I was just thinking about how happy I am and how nice this is. And how terrible it would be if you ever just weren't here.
I don't even say that. That's not gonna happen.
I'm sure that Open and Amanda never thought that.
Oh, Morgan, come on. This is our wedding night, you know? It's the only wedding night we're ever gonna have. I don't want to spoil 1 second of it. Any kind of bad thoughts.
Just tell me that you love me and you'll never leave.
Morgan, I'll never be anywhere but here. Because this is the only place I want to be.
tell me you're still mad at me just because I went to say hello to Nola.
Derek, I am not mad at you. But when I looked over there and saw her holding your hand and batting those big brown eyes, I could have just walked right over there and slapped her face. Or walked out of here,
Well,
or both.
You didn't do either, so maybe you're realizing that the vendetta you've got against her is just a little unfair.
I would love to spend the next 8 hours telling you how wrong you are. But I think I've spent enough time on Nola this evening, and it's getting late. I like to get the check and leave. It's been a very long and very exhausting.
Okay, I'll get the check. Okay? It's interesting how Kelly and Morgan's wedding has affected everyone so differently.
Well, everybody reacts to things differently, I guess. Wedding's no exception.
Take you and me. You reacted in a slightly sad way. Me, seeing them so happy and in love, well, it's made me feel very daring and romantic.
Oh, it did?
Yeah. I mean, I suggested coming here, didn't I?
Well, that takes care of the daring part.
No, well, if you'd be quiet, I'll get to the romantic part.
Sorry.
Actually, what I have to say combines the romantic and the daring because, well, I wouldn't have the courage to say it if I hadn't been working up to it all day.
All right.
Okay, a question to ask you. But before you answer, I want you to examine your feelings more closely than you ever have before. And tell me if I'm foolish to hope that one day we can invite Morgan and Kelly to our wedding. I mean, it doesn't have to be as elaborate as theirs, or, I mean, unless that's what you want.
I wish you would have got up and danced when those guys asked you.
I was fine, really, Gracie. I was fine sitting there.
Nobody goes to a disco to sit, Nola.
Well, look, I did. It was a practice run for my new life. I did a lot of thinking when I was sitting there.
After the day you've had, I don't know where you found the energy to think, let alone do it at a disco.
Well, I look at it this way. I got through today. Tomorrow will be okay. And then the rest of tomorrow's I can deal with, and I'll get what I want.
Well, this lady's got to get to bed before I can think about it. Just yell if you need anything.
Well, listen, Gracie, thanks a lot for letting me stay here.
Hey, what are friends for?
Yeah.
Right? Oh, I know what I want to ask you. Who is that cute, shy guy you were talking to?
Derek Colby?
Did you know him from before, or did he just come over and introduce himself?
He's from the neighborhood. He was in Tony's class.
Tony's class? I would have never guessed that.
Well, that's because he was determined to make something of himself, and he went to law school.
A lawyer?
Yeah,
Oh, he must be doing pretty good.
Yeah, I guess so. But knowing Derek, I don't think he's ever going to want any more than he already has.
Who would?
Me. But in the meantime, girl could use a friend that's a lawyer, right?
You know it. Good night, kid. Sweet dreams.
Night, Gracie.